What is up, my people? Dirty Mike and Cobbs Creek Beef back with a review of the Eagles draft so far through the first three rounds. They got a couple picks tonight, back to back picks, but what we're really here to talk about is last night and the first two picks. We had to have had the best draft of anyone last night. From everything I was hearing from everybody, we pretty much stole the spotlight of the draft last night. I mean, to get Jalen Carter moving up from 10 to 9, and then to get Nolan Smith falling all the way to 30 was just an enormous shock. I mean, we got two of the most impact players on the Philadelphia Bulldogs, as everybody's calling us now.
Yeah, not only this year, Foods, but you got to think last year too. I mean, they got a few, got them last year. Let's
Yeah,
see,
we got Kobe Dean
yeah,
yeah,
um,
and
and
Jordan Davis.
and then you got to think, they also got the dude from Alabama today. So we love going down south. They love the SEC, man.
Yeah, I felt like for a while the Eagles' philosophy was kind of, they were kind of going with these like Pac-10 schools, Big Ten schools, like trying to outthink it. When the proof is in the pudding. These SEC schools are competing every year for the national championship because they have the best players. So, if we want to build up our defense, that's where we're going, and that's where we should go. They're facing the
Yeah,
best competition. Oftentimes you can get, players, from the Big Ten and stuff playing inferior competition and making their stats look great. And, the SEC players are the ones who are playing NFL level talent every week.
yeah, absolutely. I think this whole draft kind of came out of left field a lot. There was a lot of crazy storylines, not only for ours, for the birds specifically, but the tampering, like a lot of indirect stuff, the tampering with, Arizona and Detroit and all that. That they lost there. They got pushed back. It's Miami. Obviously that first round. Atlanta getting, Bijan. What the
Yeah.
hell is he going to do down there? That's like the biggest waste of pick I've ever seen. The
That was a
Texans getting two first, back to back first round top
Yes, and
five
number
picks.
two and three. Yeah. I mean, they really made a splash. Yeah.
Dude, this whole draft was nuts. So far, there's only been 102 picks. I think they still got, the other, what is it? They only got so 4 rounds left. I think.
Yeah,
Four,
I don't
five,
think
six, seven.
I don't think we're picking until like the sixth, seventh round though, so we don't have a pick for a while. So
Right.
we'll get a couple more players. Chances are they probably won't even make the team, or maybe we'll end up on the practice squad. So for all intent and purposes, our draft is pretty much done at this point. But what we were able to do last night. I mean, Jalen Carter was ranked, as the number one player in the draft by Mel Kiper. And Nolan Smith, I think, was ranked number 10. So to be able to get both of them, I think most people, if I've been hearing on WIP, most people would have been happy if we would have even just gotten Nolan Smith at number 10.
Yeah, up here. You're getting some Bijan, regret. There's no buyer's remorse for Jalen Carter. I love
No.
everybody loves him. My man is a freakish talent, Doc. You got to think. I mean, he's going to be ready to go. He's going to give fits to all the O
Yeah.
lines in our division, and he's just got big hands. He's long. I mean, he's going to clog up the middle. He's going to, be able to shed off blockers. He's going to be able to stop the run. I mean, Zeke's got nothing. Saquon's got nothing. It's going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be ridiculous.
First things first, he's overweight. I mean, he's out of shape and overweight. He had a terrible pro day, and you have to attribute to that what he was going through with his personal life. In the aftermath of the accident, and then he went right from his pro day and turned himself in to be arrested. So I mean, you had to, he was having the worst period of his life right there. So he came in overweight. He was out of shape. He's going to come into the Eagles. They're going to get him on a nutrition plan. He's going to get in better shape. He's going to shed probably 15, 20 pounds. And more importantly, I don't think there was a better team that Jalen Carter could go to than the Eagles, who have such a great defense and defensive line and such veterans that are going to take him under their wing, and, really teach him how to be a pro. And they're not going to let him, get away with half-assing it.
Well,
Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick. All those guys are going to take him under their wing and be like, this is how we do things here. This is a winning culture. And, he has people he looked up to when he played with Georgia and Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis. And he could not be in a better landing spot.
yeah, like I was about to say, I'm going to do you one even better, Foods. I think because this landing spot has been so kind and so what's a good word? Redemptive for
Yeah.
such folks. For example, Michael Vick. Those who had problems, paid their debt to society. They did what they what they were accused of. They stood tall in front of the man. And they wanted to move on. Obviously, there's probably going to be civil suits, things like that. I don't think we're done hearing about all this stuff, but I think in the end, I'm glad that they gave him a chance. And like you said, the culture's important because I think we're about second chances in this city, and
We are.
I think
We
that
are. We love second
that's
chances.
important to allow the younger guys, the older guys, people outside the city who don't even really know us and just see us, at face value. I think this is a good way to get a glimpse inside of Jeffrey Lurie's thinking and Nick Sirianni, and they want to build a future. And the best way to do that is to help people heal themselves so that they're loyal to you forever.
Yeah, I agree, Foods. And, we love second chances here in Philly. And, the good thing is, he's coming. He probably expected, especially when you're going to be a top 5 pick, that you're going to go to a team that's a train wreck. He could have ended up in Arizona or the Texans where they just don't have it together. And then it's easy to kind of fall off the wagon and just, really half ass it and just not get in the proper shape, maybe party too much and just, in Philly, he's coming to an organization that's coming off a Super Bowl appearance and only a couple snaps away from winning the Super Bowl. And he's going to arguably one of the top 3 teams in the league next year. And, he's not expected to perform right away like he would on some of the other teams. He can kind of take the first half of the year to kind of get acclimated, learn the system, learn the schemes, learn from some of these, pros that we have, and then, really start producing in the second half of the year. Because, he's going to have Fletcher Cox in front of him most likely to start the year especially. And, we have some depth and, he's not going to have to perform from game one.
Yeah, it's going to be good that we're going to be dominant in our division as well, because I think that, the way, that Dallas is coached and managed, basically the Commanders got themselves finally a decent, owner. Josh Harris taking over, Snyder's out,
Yeah.
Tug Benson, you're out, they're in.
Yep.
So he's like, it's about time. Commanders they're the only team that might be on the way up. You know what I'm saying? Giants, I think they paid Daniel Jones. Great.
Too much
Who the
money.
frick?
45,
Give him all the
$45 million.
money. Yeah, no problem. We'll take him as as your quarterback anytime. So
Yeah.
it's basically going to come down to the conference, which got increasingly better, even though Rodgers is on the down end anyway. But he went to the Jets. He's not even in our conference anymore.
I'll tell you what. If you look at the quarterbacks in the NFC right now, I saw a list of rankings for the top QBs in the
Yeah,
NFC, and I was just like, wow,
I saw that one
it's
too. Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing how shitty the quarterbacks are.
Yeah, you got now. See, Geno Smith just got some weapons with they got Lockett, but they're in the West. They still got to deal with McCaffrey out there. They got the Cardinals. Who the hell knows what the Rams? But other than that, the Lions, like we saw with the Falcons. Okay, great. You got Bijan. Maybe they'll dominate. Maybe they'll dominate their division, but that's it.
Somebody new wins the NFC South every year. You got
Yeah,
Jalen
there's
Hurts.
no consistency. Yeah.
You got Jalen Hurts. You have Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, Jared Goff, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Desmond Ritter, Sam Howell. None of those quarterbacks scare you.
Yeah.
Dak always seems to have good games against the Eagles. And he's pretty streaky. He can be great at times, but yeah,
But
he's a
what
choker.
happens? What happens in December? What happens in
Uh,
January?
he's going to choke on a big old dick in December and January. So, we know what's going to happen. But, you know, the NFC's weak. The AFC has, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. They got some studs in the AFC. So they're going to
Lamar
be
just signed his
Lamar.
contract.
Now Aaron Rodgers is in the AFC. I mean,
Yeah.
they go 5, 6 deep for MVP candidates, and you know, there's no reason for me to believe that, especially after last night, that the Eagles aren't in a great position to repeat and make it to the Super Bowl and make a deep
At
run.
least, yeah, at least the conference. You should. There's no way we shouldn't get to to the title game, the conference title game. And I also thought it was funny that in a tight end rich kind of a draft, we got one for Dallas. Dallas got a tight end. I think it's going to be interesting to see what other teams do with quarterbacks, what kind of backups they're going to do. There's going to be a lot of shuffling this year, and I
Yeah,
think it'll be
it's not
good that
over.
we're going to be consistent.
Yeah, and there's always that wave of players like during preseason that end up, being cap casualties and end up not making the final 53 on teams that the Eagles are going to pick up. This isn't
Yeah.
done yet. This is not our final roster. We are going to pick up a couple more good players before the season starts. Mark my words. We do it every single year. We got C.J. Garner Johnson last year, like at the end of preseason. So there's definitely moves to be made, and I was worried about the Eagles' defense because we did get a little bit weaker, but we've definitely shored it up a little bit. I still kind of worry. Excuse me. I kind of worry about the linebacker position. I
Yeah.
think that's definitely our weak spot, but I think there's definitely some room to improve that for sure.
Well, I mean, I think they were looking at the fact that they wanted to stop a lot of, rushing attacks. I also think that they looked at it like, bless you, by the way, they look at it like they want to make, points happen. A lot of points on the board. And I thought it was funny that now Dallas Goddard was here longer than Zach Ertz had been when Dallas Goddard was drafted.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was
I was
interesting.
I was kind of rooting for the Eagles to draft Darnell Washington. He was a
Okay.
big, like 6'8" tight end from Georgia. I mean, and you should have seen. I don't know if you saw any of the combine footage of this guy, but I mean, the catches he was making, he is just a freak and a beast at six
Those,
foot eight.
and I'm sure
And
it was a blocker,
yeah,
everything.
he ended up getting picked up in the ended up getting picked up at the end of the third round. I forget who picked him up, but I was really hoping. Let's talk about this. I don't know if you watched the draft tonight. I watched the draft for 2.5 fucking hours tonight, and when it got the pick number 60, the two Eagles picks in a row, they went to commercial and they were talking to that chick comedian from Saturday Night Live, and then they went to commercial and then they said, "Oh, while we were going, the Eagles picked this player and this player." Such fucking bullshit.
You're
I
shitting me.
Yes, I was so pissed tonight. I sat with Riley for 2.5
Oh,
hours till 9:30 to watch the Eagles do back-to-back picks, and then they went to commercial, and then they went and did a segment for like a charity or something and then they went to another commercial, and they came back and they were like, "Oh, while we were going, the Eagles selected this player and this player." I'm like, "Fuck."
that's criminal, dude.
Yeah, I was pissed off about that tonight. I was like,
Wow.
"Damn."
No, I was grinding out 10 and a half, 11-hour day today. This was a bitch. I was listening to the Phillies game. They won. I know we're
Yeah.
doing NFL kind of day, but the Phils won for game one against the Astros.
Above 500.
Yes,
So that's
yes.
good. That's good. That's good. We're heading in the right direction for sure with the Phillies. But
Mhm.
I want to talk about Nolan Smith at 30. And
Yes, edge, baby, edge.
I don't know if you realize this or not, but he is absolutely generational speed at his position. He ran a faster 40 time than Bijan Robinson, just so you know.
Was he the guy that run like 4.4 or something like that? Or
He ran a 4.3940.
that's it. Yeah, I heard that they were talking about. I didn't catch all combine shit this year, but I heard about him.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. He
Yeah,
runs like a deer.
yeah, he ran a 4.3940. He's undersized for sure. I think he's like 6'3", 230, which is definitely, that's my size, and I ain't no defensive end. But he needs to maybe bulk up a little
We'll
bit,
put some weight on him. Put
but
some
maybe
weight
his
on
but I think his speed is his advantage, for sure. So he's another player that doesn't have to. When you're coming off of 70 sacks, you don't need your first round pick number 30 Nolan Smith to come out and be starting from game one. Throw him in the rotation, get him some reps, get him used to NFL speed. And start to see him produce. By the end of the year, that's all you need. We're already so strong along the defensive line that these two picks they're luxury picks almost. They're just shoring it up for the future, but they don't have to produce from day one. And
him. Well, they're exciting, is what they are.
they are, and he has the potential, Nolan Smith, to be just absolutely amazing. And I'm not quite sure, what kind of skills he'd maybe have as a linebacker, but I also wouldn't be surprised if maybe he ended up converting.
We push him back, do like a 3-4 kind of a thing.
Yeah, his comparison is Hassan Reddick.
Right.
So, having him on the team and, kind of sharing his secrets and what he does as an undersized defensive, edge rusher. Because Hassan was a 4.5, 40 guy. So, he's really quick off that edge. And these big offensive linemen that are, 6'7", 330 pounds, they can't block that off the edge.
This will be good for our secondary. I tell you why, because this is going to force a lot of third and longs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to have to really stick up in like man coverage. They're going to have to really play like, decent in their hit, like, like coverage on certain, slants, along, patterns, flies, anything that like, that they're going to have to go for like a 3rd and 15. Because they're not going to be able to run that. I mean, we're going to have so much pressure in the middle. We're going to have the edges sealed, and then everything in the back is going to be covered.
I can't imagine an offense planning for Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter just wrecking the middle, and then you try to run it to the edge, and you have Hassan Reddick,
Smith
Josh
just outrunning you. Yeah.
I mean, where are you going to go?
And then you got TJ Edwards, and you got all the, some of the great, linebacking help that we can get.
We lost TJ actually.
Oh, that's right. We did lose.
We lost TJ. We lost TJ, and we lost Kazir.
We still got Josh Sweat though, right? Do we still got Josh Sweat?
Yeah, we still have Josh Sweat. He's a forgotten defensive lineman, but we're weak at linebacker, 100%.
Yeah, you're right. God, jeez, I forgot that we lost T.J. Edwards.
Yeah,
we still got Blankenship though, right?
Yeah, Blankenship's a safety. This year is the year Nakobe Dean has to step into the
step up as linebacker.
He's gonna be expected to step into the starting lineup this year, and you're gonna have 4 guys along the defense that have played together. So at Georgia, so
in college,
so you're going to have 4 guys within the last 2 years that were part of the championship teams. So these guys have some familiarity playing together, and Nakobe Dean has the potential. I think he's going to be a hell of a player. He played well in limited time last year, but we were really shored up at linebacker last year, and our linebackers did play relatively well last year. So he really didn't get a whole lot of playing time. But I think the one game where he did get a decent amount of playing time, he led the team in tackles. So he's a good tackler for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be – that's one of the aspects of the defense that's going to have to improve a little bit. I want to see some better tackling, better open field tackling. That's definitely going to have to happen. I want to see better blitzing, more like – disguise blitzing. I mean, they're not going to have to spy too many people. They're going to spy us more than anything, but I think that like you said, they're going to maybe even if they even stack the box, maybe a nickel or a dime defense here and there, just to force the hand of the offense, I'm okay with that. Bring a safety blitz up, like you just like Blankenship, whatever. I don't anybody, you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
do something that changes the offense's look because you can pressure Prescott and you can make him throw those interceptions. And I think the shine is off Dak. I don't really think he's a top 5, top 10.
No,
I
no,
just,
he's not.
I
He's
just, I maybe with the right help around him, but he don't make anybody better. He really doesn't.
No, they showed his numbers from his for his career, and they matched him up with somebody else in the NFC that has almost exact numbers for numbers, and he's Kirk Cousins, is what
So
he is.
yeah, I was just about to say it sounds about right.
He's Kirk Cousins. He's a solid starting quarterback. He's in that you know 12 to 18 range, probably in like the top 15, like right at that end of that, and that's it. He has flashes of greatness. He has the capability of being a great quarterback, just like Kirk Cousins, but at the biggest times is when he makes the biggest mistakes. And with the roster that the Cowboys have had over the past few years, there's no excuse for them to have not made it to a conference championship game. I love foods. I got to tell you, I love watching the Cowboys implode at the end of the season almost as much as I love watching the Eagles succeed. I get such joy out of it's like Christmas morning unwrapping a gift, watching the Cowboys play a shitty team, knowing that there's a chance they're going to blow it somehow.
Yeah, I love watching them
I
flounder,
love it.
man. It's the best. And I tell you
I
what, they
love it.
brought it upon themselves the way Jerry runs that thing. Like the only way he's gonna get better is if he gives up control or he passes away. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
honestly,
that's
the
there's
Crypt
nothing
Keeper
else you're gonna do.
the Crypt Keeper is never going to give up control, so it's probably
Yeah.
going to be the latter. But
There'll be no relinquishing.
no relinquishing for sure. So I was they didn't. I don't think the Cowboys really got much better in the draft. Let's talk about tonight. The Eagles did pick up two more players tonight. They picked up with the number 65 pick Tyler Steen,
Yeah,
an
right.
offensive lineman, and keep an eye on this guy, number 66. They picked up Sidney Brown from Illinois, and he played with Devin Witherspoon. And I think he was second in FBS last year with like 6 interceptions. So he's a ball hawk for sure. And he's a tough guy too. His brother is going to get drafted as well. He's got a twin brother, and I was reading his story that their mom was really sick and had to give up custody of them, and they ended up living in over 20 foster homes and with over 20 families, and just struggled and struggled and struggled till they finally caught on with like a good family in Florida. And so these guys really had tough. He had a tough life, so he's going to respect what he has and really give 110%. So he's the type of player that we want. I think he has the potential to end up being a starting safety down the line. So Sidney Brown is his name, and I think you might see him some this year.
This will be great. I love that they're gonna have so many options for defense. The fact that I mean, let's be honest, they lost that Super Bowl because of the defense.
They did. They did
And
lose the.
I mean,
They
there's
did
just
lose it.
no other way to
I mean,
put it. That's not.
You put up 35 points in the Super Bowl, you should win the game. The defense is
Yeah,
what cost us the game because we couldn't
yeah.
stop them.
Way too much. I mean, there are two or three other good factors that contributed, but all in all, one stop, Foods. Just needed one stop. It wasn't
Yeah,
like that Falcons game against the Patriots, but it was it wasn't a choke. It was unsatisfying. It was a sour bite to end the meal. I mean, there was a shitty call, but we should have never been in that position in the first place. This is good. This is what we need.
yeah. That's why Fletcher Cox didn't retire. That's why Jason Kelsey didn't retire. It left a sour taste in their mouth. Our defensive line was supposed to be the advantage in that Super Bowl, and the field neutralized it. And that often happens with bad weather games. The field is a neutralizer
Mhm.
when it's raining really bad, and one team has a much better defense than the other. The footing gets messed up, and it pretty much puts everybody on a level playing field. And that's exactly what happened at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But not,
And
but that's what I'm saying, but not in the Super Bowl of all the time. Yeah, have that happen on a November night in Pittsburgh, sure.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we could blame the field all we want, but
That's what I'm saying. You
we
can't,
just
you
couldn't.
just gotta just go back to the drawing board foods, and here we are, baby. We are ready to go. And then, like I said, I'm excited. I almost want the season to start tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking at our linebackers. We got Sean Bradley. We have N'Kobe Dean,
Mhm.
Christian Ellis. I guess his brother's on the team too, Noah Ellis. He's not a linebacker though. Um, Kyron Johnson, Patrick Johnson, Nicholas Morrow. I don't know. I'm not really. I'm not too chuffed about this linebacker core, Davion Taylor. I think we need to add a. I think we need to add a veteran onto that. A
Something with
solid.
pedigree. I could use
Yeah,
something with someone with pedigree.
yeah. I agree. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think this linebacking core is going to do it for us for sure. So I look for us to get somebody who's maybe cut or or something towards like preseason. Our secondary is, I think, pretty good. I hope Slay returns back to form this year. Bradbury has another great year.
Mhm.
Patrick, I'm sorry, Reed Blankenship,
Yeah.
can take that next step or at least maintain what the flashes that he showed last year. And then we have the defensive line, which is a huge strength. And I think the defense will be all right. I think it's going to take a little couple weeks. And I got to tell you, I was wrong, and I'll admit it. I was on the Bijan train hard, and you know that. I have been pushing for Bijan for months now. And now that the draft is over, you almost didn't even hear his name talked about. After Atlanta picked him, it's just a shitty location for him to go. And I'm glad that because offense isn't what cost us the Super Bowl; it was defense. So to shore up the defensive line even, further for the future. Because let's face it, Fletcher Cox is going to be gone after this year. Brandon Graham's going to be gone after this year. We had to get some replacements in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely think that, like you said, in between now and good Lord, what's that? August. So they
Yeah.
got what, 4 months
Yeah.
roughly. There's so many. There's so many pieces that Howie can move. He's a goddamn magician. He's Houdini. My man's fucking, David Copperfield over here. Looking over there, you think the elephant's in the room? No, 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 no. It's over here. It's chilling in your car.
Yep. Yep. So I think he's got to do a little more work on the linebacker core for sure. But
Some
our offense.
offense too, maybe.
Yeah, I think we definitely have to upgrade over Quez Watkins in the slot.
Mhm.
There was a couple wide receivers out there that I thought would have been pretty good. I like that one guy. What the hell was his name? I wonder if he got drafted.
Wasn't Anderson, was it, or Williamson?
No, it was. I want to see if he got drafted in the third
I
round.
know they took another tight end. Who took it to Dallas? Took another one like Shoemaker or something, right? Some
Yeah.
weird ass tight end I saw. I was like, okay, they like their tight ends. Good for them.
Okay. It looks like he might have ended up getting drafted. I'm just looking through the board here from
Yeah, of
the
course, you always got, we still got, like I said, we still got 4 more rounds. But I guess like you said, I don't think we got any picks until the later rounds anyway. So,
no, I don't. I think we pretty much did our damage for sure.
mhm. It's okay.
What the hell was his name? I'm looking through. Maybe he didn't.
Yeah, I don't
Where was
have
he?
my little list on me.
Oh,
So,
Jalen Hyatt. That was his name. He was linked to Patrick Mahomes and maybe going to KC at pick number 31, but they didn't pick him. I'm not seeing him that he got picked, but I'm not seeing him at best available. So he might have got drafted. But
Yeah, I'd have to look. Yeah.
yeah, I think we have to upgrade over Quez Watkins because I
Hmm.
mean, realistically, him alone cost us 2 games last year. He cost us that Washington game for sure, um, where he made that catch and then fumbled and gave it right back to them. And there was just so many plays last year where he didn't compete for the ball and gave up an interception, and he left a real sour taste in my mouth last year as a weak spot on the offense.
Yeah, nobody, dude. He's not safe. The only people that are safe really are like AJ and like Devontae. I mean, that's really it. Goddard. Dallas. That's it. I mean, everyone else they got to
Oh,
compete.
Jalen Hyatt actually went to the Giants.
Oh,
Wide
so now we're gonna have
receiver.
to compete against him. Great.
Yeah, he went to the Giants. I was really hoping that the Eagles would have taken him at number 65 or 66 because he would have fit into the slot great as a 4-4, speedster, stretch the field even further. But,
Yeah,
it's the way it goes.
maybe the Giants will misuse him somehow, Foods.
Yeah, he'll go to that shit show and end up getting hurt, but don't wish it on him. But,
Yeah, no. I don't mean like get hurt. I just mean the Giants will put him in shitty positions, and then
yeah.
Daniel Jones will just fucking waste away his talent.
What a waste of $45 million to give Daniel Jones $45 million a year.
That's why I was in no way in form upset about it. I mean, they're gonna again. It's gonna be like ancient Rome. They're gonna destroy themselves from the inside.
Yeah.
Same thing for Dallas. I mean, obviously, Commanders are in a different position now, but other teams, I mean, good lord, like let's see who's the. I mean, who the hell knows what Belichick's got going up and after they imploded in their playoff hunt last year. They turned to shit. There's a
Yeah.
lot of teams that are going
Yeah.
to have to revamp their whole thinking this year, AFC and NFC.
Yeah, Dallas got not Dallas. Yeah, the Patriots got Christian Gonzalez. He slipped the cornerback from Oregon. He was expected to be a top 8 pick, and he slipped all the way down to 17. So it was weird, like you said. It was a weird
Weird
draft
draft.
this year. You couldn't have predicted this to happen. I mean, if you would have told me the Eagles are going to get Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, I mean, I wouldn't believe you.
And barely have to finagle anything. I mean,
No, a fourth
that was
round pick
it.
next
What they
year to
moved up
move up a
one.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah, one pick. That was it.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing to get, arguably, possibly the best player in the draft.
Yeah, he's an $80 million player, Foods.
He really is. He is. Uh, it's absolutely amazing to have him
I'll
locked
take
up.
it.
Yeah, I'm done and done. But it was great. We definitely stole the show last night, and I'm looking forward to finishing the draft and just getting the preseason, man. We need to get training camp and everything going. These next few months, are going to be a long few months. We need the Phils to stay alive and keep us through these next few months for sure.
Yeah, so stay with us, 4th to 26, fam. We're going to be there the whole way. We're going to try to, follow them for OTAs. We're going to see the progress. Eventually they'll come out with the schedule for the games, so we'll know who they're playing. We
Yep.
got opponents, it'll be a beautiful thing.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to doing the most this season coming up is post game shows. I'm looking forward to doing a post game show this year after Eagles games. Now that we can do live streams, so I'm
It'll be a
definitely
blast. I wouldn't even mind doing interviews, getting people on. We'll see what
yeah.
we got for you, man. We got some shit, hidden up our sleeves.
Definitely, definitely. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Leave some comments in the comment section. Let us know how excited you were about this draft, and we'll be back talking about the Sixers within a couple days. We got the Sixers coming up playing Boston, a huge series that I don't want to sugarcoat it. This is going to be probably the most important Sixer series since 2001 because it's going to determine, what's probably going to happen with Embiid and what's going to happen with Doc and what's going to happen with James Harden moving forward. So, there's a lot riding on this series we're going to get into, and tune in for that. And we'll be back shortly, guys. Have a great night.
All right, guys.